Hello and welcome. So I am going to take a look at the Times Cryptic crossword, which was published on Wednesday the 20th of August 2025. So I'm a day behind. I don't know how easy this is going to be, and we don't get any set of information. There's some gubbins up here about the crossword championship. That's irrelevant. So I think all I can do really is to check on the recording okay and then crack on. Baby duck seen in river in the southwest. In southwest is the fowl, baby foal. Yeah, I think so. Foal in the Falmouth. A myth about U.S. car budget. U.S. car budget. A myth about U.S. car budget. Okay. Moving scripts reported traffic jam. Relax, I hear that bloke's leaving for East End. Bow, something about bow, rainbow. Relax, I hear. Ease, okay. Ease something, he is, ease. Back, he's back, he's gone, he's dying. Bad credit affected bank product. Bad credit is 6, bad is 3. Could be an anagram of bad credit then. Bank product would be a overdraft. Mortgage, can't see it. Let's keep getting on. Sore points finally seeded by withdrawn ascetic. Sore points. Finally seeded might be a D. Beside a withdrawn ascetic, so that's an ascetic that's going backwards. Is seeded going at the start or there? Let's put it in both places for now until I can think of what an ascetic is. I don't know. I can't think of a word for ascetic. I assume it's kind of like a hermit type person, religiousy kind of thing. Right, Disraeli once ordered. Disraeli is 8, once is 4, so that's 12. Comms blackout. Yeah, Disraeli once comms blackout, which is radio silence. Okay, I can take that. Co-star of Meg Ryan, not Meg Ryan, M Ryan, that'd be Tom Hanks, donating time for celebration. Co-star of M. Is that Thanksgiving? Tom Hanks giving, isn't it? Yeah, we had that in the. So T Hanks, M Ryan. Yeah, nice. We had that in the Thanksgiving in the QC about a month ago. And I struggled to get to it. Half of disc features live instrument. Half of disc is DI or SC. Live is normally B or features instrument. So we've got a BS or an SC. Or DI, or neither. Instrument, can't think of either at the moment. I can't see how you get from features live. Okay, contrite salesman runs away from newcomer. Contrite salesman runs away from newcomer, so take an R out of. So salesman's a rep, I think. Repentant, entrant is a newcomer, yeah. Okay, repentant. Belonging to resistance, penetrating French wartime traitor. Belong to resistance. Is that Vichy? Penetrating French wartime traitor. Quisling. Or are we looking at belong is to own or have? Resistance is an R. Wartime traitor is a Havel. I don't know. I'll come back to that one. A devoted individual, island girl, worked during the afternoon. Afternoon would be PM, I assume. Although it can be all day. After lunch, anyway. During afternoon, a devoted individual, island girl is a. We've got Pilas. M doesn't work. Pilgrim. What's that? Girl. Yeah, it's an anagram of girl. Okay. I'll go with that. Prince liked her wearing distressed recalled clothes. Prince liked her wearing... What is going on here? Prince? I think Prince is PR, isn't it? Or Hal. Liked her wearing distressed recalled clothes. There's a lot going on in that clue. Distressed recall would be... Yeah, I think it would be best just to forget that one and move on to stomach. English pub sandwiches. Sandwiches, that hidden word indicator, can't see it. English pub is an E-bar. Bear. Pub sandwiches. Bear. Stomach. I can stomach that. I can bear it. That looks like a age timer or something. Egg timer, I think that is. So look, bouncing around. Tigger starts to move every item in the kitchen. Where's that? Egger. Tigger is definitely egg timer, I think. Tigger with move every item. Can't work out exactly what it is, but it's an item in the kitchen, definitely in this one. Twisted wire. Current is I. Prisoner is a lag. Is that right? At Liberty Smuggles. I think so. Twisted. Wire. Feels like there should be an anagram of wire I lag in there, probably. At Liberty Smuggles, that doesn't really work. Prisoner at Liberty is at large. That doesn't work. Smuggles. I should come back to that. I think let's go back to the Downs properly this time. The German, the German visits tarts somewhere in the Low Countries. The German is DER, I assume. Flounders, I suppose. Flouse. Tarts. Flouse? There can't be flounders because there's no... what are tarts? Pies. Flanders. Ah, flans. Yeah, how did I say that? Founder? I don't know what was in there. Flanders. It is. Okay, this one. Soldier group. Enlisting international fighter of toxic culture. International fighter of toxic culture. Fighter of toxic culture is a... What's it going to be? Anti-woke or something? And soldier group would be an army. Enlisting. So yeah, that makes an arm. International fighter. Arm. Fighter of toxic culture. I'm not sure about that one. Let's take that out and leave the M for army there. I'm not convinced, but for New Year, regularly visited love goddess. For New Year, regularly. Okay, so is that anagram of? Not anagram, but is that literally a YA or ER? Errata, I suppose. Yeah, ER2. Well, goddess was errata, I think. Was she? Well, love is O. Not sure about that. Errata, goddess or not? I'm not convinced that's right. I'm going to leave that much like that. Perhaps shift where boa might be put. Necklace. Perhaps shift. Okay, so it is a shift, isn't it? Boa might be put. It's not constrictor. So shift can be a dress, can't it? Dress. Neck dress. Shift around necks. Headdress. Headdress. No, not headdress. Is E's correct? What's this one? Bad credit. Okay, I've got 2 D's, have I? So that can't be a D. Then again, I haven't got an O. Ah, maybe errata isn't right. Bank. Debit card. Okay, that's the word I was looking. Debit card. Oh, okay, I've got 2 D's. How does that work? Oh, I've got 2 D's. I can't even count. But that one isn't correct. But New Year, Could be a Y, I suppose. For New Year would be O-N or Freya. I think that's a 4. That makes more sense. Freya. I'm going to go Freya there. I think a shift is a dress, whereby where boa might be put is around the neck though. Unless it's actually talking about boa constrictor, which you'd put in the reptile house, wherever that is. Okay, let's move on from that. Oh gosh, lots of letters here potentially. Unify Scotland, sadly lacking social cohesion. Gosh. Unify Scotland. Is that just an anagram of Scotland? Unify, I think it is, isn't it? Lacking social cohesion is... I don't know about this D and that. Probably an owl, a word. Let's come back to that one. Begin to talk about piece that might feature cameo on the radio. I can't remember what cameo is. It's I think that's a type of piece of jewellery or something, or around the neck thing. Begin to talk about is TAP. Talk about piece. That might feature article. Cameo on the radio would be a... On the radio suggests it sound like. Piece that might feature a cameo, I think, is a it's a type of, I can't remember what it was. Cameo is a necklace or something, or tiara. Begin to talk about would be to discuss. Okay. Struggle, upended iron, stronghold. Fee, upended would be effort. Okay, struggle is an effort. Yep. Okay, ease off. Okay, ease off. Yeah, there we are. That's relax. That's what I was looking for. This one begin to camera on the radio. Can't remember what cameo is at this moment. Hopefully I will get on with it and switch to Cheltenham coverage. Get to the races. To the races, I think that is. Get on with it. Can't be get, can it? And switch to the race. Bet on the races. Bet. Off to the races. No, can't be off to the races. What's this one? Moving scripts. Is anagram script? Reported traffic jam. Auto cue. Is that something to do with moving scripts and auto cue, isn't it? Cut to the races. That's what I'm looking for. Cut to the races. Okay. That doesn't look like it wants to be army, does it? Right, let's continue on down through. Only 12 minutes so far to get this far. Gosh, they've been going in quite nicely. Noticeable in Signal Ancelotti. Ignorable, I think it is. Ignorance, rather. Nice hidden word. Lack of awareness, yeah, ignorance. Ignorance. Just checking the spelling of that. I think it's correct. I've gone back here, twisted wire. I'll come back to that one. Forget that one. Extremely long line in reading, saying boring subject. Is that drilling? Always want to go drill. I want to see alpha line. Extremely long line in reading. Say boring subject. Not sure. Okay. Gong rung initially over New Ferry King. Oh, Ferry King is, well, bottom. Is it bottom? No, not bottom. Not Ophelia. Not Titania. She's the Queen of the Fairies. Is the King of the Fairies? Gong Oberon. Now OBE are on. There we are. Oberon, King of the Fairies. Yep. Young boxer is a pup. One beginning to learn. Pupil. Young is a pupil. Young boxer is a pup. Yeah, I think so. Okay, well that's good, isn't it? That's very, very good for me. For a first look at the Times Cryptic. Wow. A myth about budget. Offensive. No. There's a lot of clues here now. It's just left hanging really. I've got that one as an anagram. I think Unify Scotland, which would be That one, let's look at this one. Caber, half disc. What's that? Features live, that's surely an E. Instrument. Half a disc, what's a disc? A record. Circle. Cyber. Instrument, cyber. Half a disc. If that was a C, I'm not convinced it is, but if it was, it says Saracen, belonging to resistance, wartime traitor, belonging to resistance, penetrating French, belong to resistance. And this one down here was Prince, oh gosh, Prince like her wearing distressed reclawed clothes. Wow, okay. I don't know where to look because they're all hard. Prince, right, we've got liked her wearing. Prince can't be PR then, can it? Wearing distressed. Distressed is liked her. If that was her. She. So that's she there probably. Like her. She. Shells. Seashells. Conch shells. If that was Saracen, I don't know that Saracen is a wartime traitor. I thought it was just a fighter. How would that work? Penetrating French? I don't think so. Collaborateur is a French wartime traitor. I don't think that's going to be the answer. Belong to? No. Extremely long line. Line in reading, say. Boring subject. Not much happening there. Let's go back to these ones at the top. See what I can get. Soldier, I'm going to just write that out horizontally. Maybe that'll help me. A something T. Surely it's an auto. Art. Maybe it's not. Good. Soldier group enlisting international. Fighter. Fighter international is a cap. That doesn't work. Fighter of toxic culture is anti. I think anti probably is right. Anti. So how does that work? Oh, soldier is an anti. Ant. I for international, which makes that. Group is. What's a group? Is that radio silence? I assume it is radio silence. Looks about right for radio silence. Definitely a commas brackets radio silence. Anti. Body. Yes. Okay, antibody. There you go. There's one. One knocked off. This one, perhaps shift. I think that's address, but I can't think what the word before it will be. Where burr might be put. This I need to actually. I don't know about this D, do I? But there is a D in Scotland. So something S. Something D, something C, something I, something N, something L. Be useful to really just get rid of some of these letters out of Unify Scotland, assuming factional. I think there's a factional there, so that probably means that's an F. Let's just Unify Scotland for a second. Write those down. I don't mean actually Unify Scotland. I mean Scotland is very unified, probably. Scotland, O, A. Is that enough letters? I think so. So. C I N L and an S con. I'm going to go with that being factional, which would be F A T O. Dysfunctional. Dysfunctional would be a better word than factional. Dysfunctional. Okay. Oh, what's this? Under? Saw points. Finally, oh, it's a guru, isn't it? Is that a guru? No, a rugger. That ain't gonna happen. Saw points finally seeded by a withdrawn. Ulcer. What is that, an ulcer? Saw is an ulcer. Saw points are ulcers. What would that be? If that was ulcer, that would be RECLU. Recluse. Yeah. Okay. Recluse would be about right. So that would be southeast taken off of recluse. This one beginning to talk about piece that might feature cameo. Might feature cameo. Wish I could remember what a cameo is. If it, assuming it is this kind of jewellery thingy that I think it is. I'm actually looking at that one down the bottom. I didn't get on the first look. IAR something E. Just writing that down. This one then. So we've got Dodge. It could be Dodge. About US car. Dodge. Budget. A myth. Well, A fund. A fun Dodge. A Ford. A ball. A fable around a book. Well, that's okay. Begin to talk is to broach. That's what I'm looking for. Is that broach with an A or broach with an O? You broach the subject. I think it's an A. I think double O is the jewellery item. If I've got it wrong, I've got it wrong. Overdress. There you are. You put a shift. Bow might go over the dress, I think. Overdress, perhaps shift. Yeah, I think a shift is a item of clothing that would be like that. So that leaves this one. Twisted wire. I've got current prisoner. At liberty smuggles. Prisoner at liberty is a runner. I don't really know what I'm trying to get to here. That's the trouble. I think current is probably I. Oh, LAG. Ilagra. Doesn't really. Currently at liberty. Free. That's going to be free, isn't it? Is that free? Free is at liberty. Smuggles. Is that repentant? Entrant, isn't it? It's entrant without the R. So yeah, I think that's an entrant. Becomes an entant. Is that free? At liberty. I don't really see how at liberty smuggles. Smuggles hasn't got it. I haven't got an S there, have I, for smuggles to be a thing. Smuggles might be a. Is it a hidden word? Prisoner at liberty. Liber. I would have thought twisted wire meant I've got an anagram of wire, but the fact I've got an R and an E there, unless I can't have W-I-R-E, W can't go there, unlikely to go there, might go there, but it feels like it should go there with smuggles, Y. This one features live. I think live is B, live is B. So then I'm looking for half of a disc. I think a disc is a circle because I can't think what else it can be. But then that gives me a CIBER, cyber, which is not an instrument I know, which makes me think maybe that's wrong. This extremely long line in reading. Line is an L or Q. Say reading. Subject, boring subject, can't be that. In reading, say e.g. And this one, Prince, liked her wearing. Don't think Prince, P-R-I-N-C-E, like. There's not enough letters for that. Close hand. If it's Prince Hal, H-A-L there. I'd have to put D there for hand, really. Hand, shelled, and doesn't really. Clothes. Probably an S there. Ugh, this is a little bit frustrating to have flown through most of that and then just got to these last few. Especially as I've got all the other ones I was struggling with. Penetrating French, wartime traitor. So R for resistance, belong to is to African. African would be African. I don't know. Can't think that's right. Belong to. Right. I think I'm going to put the video on pause while I think to myself about this puzzle. Where I'm at, 26 minutes, 27 minutes coming up. Pause while I have a think to myself. So I've been thinking to myself, because I've back about a minute and a half, I was just looking at this thinking, well, maybe this subject, boring subject, so putting a word into a subject could be a topic, which I may put a C there. And then at that point, I thought, well, Prince liked her, that looks like it could be Cinderella, which is an anagram recalled, I think. But then I got that there, so I'm going to just take out off to the races. Maybe that's where I'm wrong. Maybe there's no races there. Cut to the Cheltenham coverage. Cheltenham is the races though. Get on with it. Cut to the chase. Chase. Is that right? Cinderella. Yeah, Cinderella going in there then, I think. Cut to the chase is to get on with something. Cheltenham coverage. Okay, so then dieback. Is that right? Disc. No, it can't be dieback. Disc SC. Still don't know what that is. But that's a bit more interesting for that one because let's change that now, and that's going to be a C for that one. Extremely long line. That's an instrument. Just take that for a second. Dieback. So extreme long line is a tropic, isn't it? Yeah, tropic goes around the world. I don't quite see. Rebec? Record, yeah, Rebec. Okay, so this is just what is this? Belong to French wartime pertain, I think. Belongs to is pertain. I'm going to go with pertaining to. It pertains to. It belongs to. Not sure about that. Pertain. Which just leaves me my water, which leaves me this one here, frustratingly. So that was reading. That was the topic. Boring topic. Reading, say, boring topic. I'll come back to. I think I'm going to go with that anyway. So this one, twisted wire. Current twisted wire. Am I looking for a word for twisted, which is missangular? Prisoner, current prisoner. A lag a con. Prisoner at liberty is a at large, which doesn't work because it doesn't fit in there. Runaway. I want to put villager in there, that doesn't fit. Can't see the last one. I'm going to pause while I think to myself. Okay, I had a sudden understanding of the clue maybe that At Liberty Smuggles is free going around that. Current is I, and a prisoner is a lag, so I think that's probably a filagree. I've taken out taken out the end from Thanksgiving while I was having a think, but didn't need to. Filagree? Let's go with that. Yes, 3242. Brilliant. Okay, that was a little struggle at the end there, but got there eventually. Right, let's try and decode the clues. Doing these on the fly, so I'll do the best I can. So yeah, we've got a foal is a baby horse. Obviously, that's your definition. A duck is a 0 or an O. Nothing scored in cricket. And the river in the southwest, the River Fowl, which is down in Cornwall. Always remember it because it finishes at the Falmouth. Right, we've got A fables. We've got A myth. A is in the clue. Fable is a myth, so F-A-B-L-E for fable equals myth, and then the US car is a Ford, and a budget is affordable. Moving script is an auto cue. Reported is saying it's a sound like of automobile, a queue of automobiles, an auto queue, which is a traffic jam perhaps. Right, relax is to ease off. And then we've got a sound like of that bloke's leaving for the East End. So got our Cockney accent and we're saying ease off. Bad credit is an anagram of debit card. I'm sure I've seen that somewhere along the way because they're so similar in the letters involved. Affected is your anagram indicator, and a bank product is a debit card. Right, sore is an ulcer. Yeah, sore is a type of ulcer. So yeah, on your skin maybe. Points finally. So the ascetic we've got is a recluse withdrawn. So if you look at recluse, it's RECLUSE, going backwards. So we've withdrawn, finally seeded. Points are southeast, taken off of recluse, and then put the other way, which is withdrawn. Is saying put them the other way around. Right, more simply, Disraeli once is an anagram of radio silence. Ordered is your anagram indicator, and radio silence is a comms blackout. We've got the co-star of M. Ryan. So Meg Ryan starred in at least 3 films with Tom Hanks. Well, if it's M. Ryan, then we need T. Hanks. And donating is giving, and a time for celebration is Thanksgiving. And so we had a clue very similar to that in the QC a few weeks ago, going down here, but it was a holiday, not a celebration, so that made it a bit harder. Right, half of a disc. Well, a disc is a record, so we've got REC, that's the half we need, featuring live, which is to B, which gives us a rebec, which is a type of instrument. I don't know what that is. Contrite is repentant. A salesman is a rep. Runs away from newcomer. So newcomer is an entrant. So take the R for runs out of entrant becomes gives you the rest of repentant. Right. Belong to is to pertain to. So yeah, that's just definition. Resistance is an R. Penetrating French wartime traitor. So I guess a Petain is a French wartime traitor, if I haven't misunderstood the clue. A devoted individual is a pilgrim. We've got I for island, anagram of girl, LGRI, worked as your anagram indicator, and it's during the afternoon, so PM is the afternoon. Right, Prince liked her is Cinderella. Prince liked Cinderella, definitely. What have we got here? Wearing distressed recalled clothes. Recalled is, what have we got here? RECALLED. Got an in there somewhere. Wearing distressed. Recalled. Clothes. Clothes suggests to me the anagram of recalled is okay. If you're wearing something, you're in your clothes. You're wearing, so in, and then put around that an anagram of recalled. Distressed is your anagram indicator, and clothes is saying put that around in for wearing. To stomach something is to bear it. English is E, with pub is a bar, so bar is sandwiching the letter E. On the downs, we've got the German, which is der. So German has three articles, der, well, three versions of the, der, die, and das. Visiting tars, who are flans. Somewhere in the Low Countries is Flanders. A soldier is an ant. A group is a body. Enlisting I for international gives you an antibody, a fighter of toxic culture. So yeah, cultures are used in science labs, aren't they, to create bacteria and things. So I think that's what the toxic culture is. Right, we've got regularly saying take the first and third letter of for, then go on to the second letter of new, and then on to the first and third letters of year, which gives us Freya, who is the love goddess. Don't know anything about Freya, to be fair. Perhaps shift. So a shift is a type of clothing, and it's apparently an overdress. Perhaps shift. Where a boa might be put, you might put a boa, which is also isn't in this case isn't a boa constrictor. It's a feather boa that goes around your neck, so it might go over the dress. Unify Scotland, I think, is an anagram of dysfunctional. Sadly, is your anagram indicator, and lacking social cohesion is dysfunctional. Begin to talk about. Oh, I forgot to dived in on broach. So yeah, broach. You broach the subject. It's spelled with an A. A piece that might feature a cameo is a brooch, as in the piece of jewellery, which is double O, and on the radio is your sound like indicator. A struggle is an effort. Upended iron. So we've got Fe is the chemical symbol for iron going upwards. So that gives you the EF, and then a stronghold is a fort. Right, what's going on here? Get on with it is to cut to the chase. Yep, so people often say that to me as I'm doing these videos. Get on with it, cut to the chase, get to the end of it fast. Switch to Cheltenham coverage. Well, Cheltenham must be a steeplechase. I didn't know that about steeple. The Gold Cup must be a steeplechase. I did in fact live in Cheltenham for a few years, so I should know this, but I didn't know it was a steeplechasing. It's obviously not a flat one. Anyway, so yeah, if you switch over to the Cheltenham coverage, then you cut to the chase. What do we got? Lack of awareness is ignorance, which is a hidden word in Signor Ancelotti, and noticeable in is your hidden word indicator. Right, a twisted wire must be a filigree. I don't know if I guess it's like a filament is a wire, isn't it? So maybe a twisted wire is a filigree, kind of an offshoot of that. Current is I, a prisoner is a lag, and at liberty smuggle. So at liberty is free, and it's smuggling the I lag, putting it in there. Right, bouncing around is your anagram indicator that Tigger, along with the starts to move and every. So ME Tigger, anagrammed by bouncing around, gives you the egg timer, which is an item in the kitchen. Right, extremely long line. Well, yeah, the tropics of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn are very long lines at 23.5 degrees north and south, I think it is, roughly. So yeah, they stretch around the world. I think that's pretty long. In reading, say, a boring subject. In reading, say. Well, a subject is a topic. Boring is saying put an R for reading in there. I don't know why it's that, other than reading used to be one of the three R's, as in reading, writing, and arithmetic. So maybe that's why it's an R. Not entirely sure. What do we got? We got a gong is an OBE, Order of the British Empire. One of the medals you might receive. Rung initially is the R from rung. Over, your car runs on the motorway. It goes over the motorway, tarmac, over the road, on the road. Oh no, initially rung on. new fairy king. Well, fairy king's over. I'm just looking at ON. Oh yeah, no, over is, scrap that. Over is cricket notation. I think O in over is, you'd write down O for an over and N for new. So I think it's R for rung initially, and then O for over from cricket notation, and N for new. Forget my over and on being to do with cars in this case. A young boxer, possibly one beginning to learn. Young is a pupil, I guess. I think that's where we're going. I'm just looking. Young boxer could be a pup. Well, a boxer dog is a young box dog would be a pup. One beginning to learn would be a pupil, but we've got one for I, and beginning to learn is an L. So I don't know if it's just kind of an all-in-one cryptic-y thing to get to pupil. Not entirely sure exactly how that works out. You can see how it roughly works out though. So we go 3242, a successful solve. Haven't had one of those for a while. Thanks for watching.